Hello, everyone, and welcome to Church at Home with Rachel for Feel Good Friday, the 10th of November. Tomorrow is Remembrance Day in Canada, Veterans Day, I believe, in the States. So I'm still wearing my poppy. And tomorrow I will leave my poppy at the cenotaph or at the Peace Memorial complex where we're going to gather with the Legion and all of the folks from the base, and we will celebrate Remembrance Day and give thanks for those who have offered their service and remember those who died in service to our country. Not a great start for a Feel Good Friday, but it is a Feel Good Friday because I want to talk about support and encouragement. Um, in Canada, we are very, very fortunate. We have an excellent military and we have an opportunity on Remembrance Days to say thank you, not just to those who have fallen, to remember them and pray for their souls and to thank their families, but also to say thank you for all of the military members who stand up today. My husband is one of them. All those folks who sign the dotted line that says "I pledge to King and country," basically the greatest pledge they can give. That they, as they say, write a check with their lives. That if need be, they will give up their life for what they believe in. And that's a pretty big thing to feel good about. When when we gather for Remembrance Day, and as I've been this week gathering for services, I was on Wednesday. I was at the hospital, at the long-term care center for Remembrance of the Remembrance service, and today I will be at two more retirement facilities, Battle River Lodge and Points West Living, to celebrate with them, to remember with them. And then I have a funeral later on today to remember a good man who will be remembered by many, many people for his activity and his presence in the community. But it's this weekend, and then tomorrow, of course, we'll be gathering for the Remembrance Day services. It's important that we encourage people, that we make them feel good, to recognize that what they do in life with themselves is appreciated. And that doesn't mean just simply for our soldiers, although our soldiers, our air personnel, our sailors, absolutely. Those people, wherever we might live, who put on the uniform, who offer themselves in service, who are recognizing that they're going to probably take many, many times away from their families. They'll put themselves in danger so that we don't have to be, so that we can continue to live our lives with freedom and the opportunity to worship as we choose, or to not worship, to be the people that we're called to be, to participate in life, because we live in a society that recognizes that it's important that we be able to do that. And then hence we have militaries who, for those of you who are, a little bit dove-ish, so to speak, who think that maybe the military is not necessary, I just invite you to take some time this weekend to think about what would happen if we hadn't had a military in the 1940s. What would the world look like now if Hitler had been able to walk through Europe completely and take it over? What would North America look like if the world was filled with totalitarian governments? Um, it's with the way society is going right now, and totalitarian and socialism in that style. You know what? We're not very far away from the possibility of a more Hitler-like regimes. And so, on this Feel Good Friday, maybe the things we need to feel good are those things that don't feel so good. But I do believe we need to encourage one another. Absolutely encourage our soldiers, encourage our men and women in uniform. But I think we need to encourage one another. We need to be able to reach out to others and say, your contribution to society helps. It's important. There isn't one of you out there who isn't contributing in some way, shape, or form to the betterment of your community. Even if it's simply, having a good joke to tell to someone who's, down in the dumps at work, or holding the door for someone who's got a bunch of little kids and groceries and just needs a little extra help. Every single person in the world, I absolutely believe, has the possibility of helping to contribute, to be an encourager. I think in Christian world, I think St. Barnabas was the encourager. And I think we're all called to be a St. Barnabas. We're called to be the Barnabas, to get out there and say to people, you can do this, you've got it. Whether it's to be a cheerleader and say to somebody, I know you can do this, and I'm right here and I cheer for you all the way, to be someone who, an alongside someone who comes up alongside someone else and says, how can I help to help to bear the burden of your load? What can I do to help you along? There are so many people out there who don't realize that in the midst of their own trials and their difficulties, that they are doing exactly that for someone else. Maybe they're doing it for you. Maybe they are coming alongside you and helping to bear your burden. I think today is a really good day to say thank you to them. I think it's a day that we need to take the time and say, I appreciate your presence in my life. I appreciate what you've been doing. I appreciate who you are and what you contribute to the world. Please continue to do so. I, yes, it's Feel Good Friday, but at the same time, this weekend, as we remember, I think it's really important that we feel good in a kind of a subdued kind of way, if that makes sense. I don't want to be slapstick today. I don't want to be, isn't that funny? Ha ha. I think we need to take time to appreciate and to listen and to recognize what others do for us. On one hand, obviously, with my poppy on and the work I'm doing with the Legion and things like that, obviously, I am thinking in terms of the military this weekend and what they have done. Thinking about those men and women who have gone away. I'm thinking about the, 150 some people Canadians who went off to war in Afghanistan and did not come home. Their families, the Silver Star mother, I believe her son was killed in Bosnia, who will stand at our war memorial in Ottawa tomorrow and will honor, be the one who is honored and will honor the memory of all those mothers and families whose children did not come home. And we need to be an encourager for them. We need to be an alongsider for them to say that even if it happened 20 or 30 years ago or 50 years ago or 60 or 70 years ago, or even if it happened yesterday, that you are not alone, that we encourage you and we want you to know that we support you and we appreciate the sacrifices that were made by your family member, the sacrifices that were made by you. But I also think it's a really important time that we not let that torch fall. There is a line in Flanders Fields that talks about that, not letting the torch fall, that we have to pick that torch up and carry on. And I do pray, sincerely pray, and I believe that many members of the military sincerely pray that there will come a time when our military is not required to train for war, but then they will be able to do what they do so well. In Canada, we have a strong history of our military being peacekeepers and peacemakers, but also being local, like at home people. We have had tremendous times when our military has stood up to help out cities when we've had tremendous amounts of snowfall. We have had times when our rivers have overflowed their banks, and it's been the military who's come out to fill the sandbags, to help direct traffic, to bring out to help people with medical purposes. During the beginning of COVID, there were many members of our medical staff in the military and people who helped them, supporting staff, who went into nursing homes and assisted in those places to help the nurses and the doctors and the aides to do what they could to help people. And it was our military medical people who helped to bring to the truth of how poorly some of our healthcare system was acting when it came to our nursing homes and seniors residences. Our military is extremely important, and it will be, even if we come to a world that knows peace. That will not mean that we can stand down our military. It just means that they will have the happy choice of being able to serve people in, not so happy, but natural disasters, taking care of people in a way that isn't because something bad has happened intentionally, but because they are standing up because something bad has happened by accident. We need to recognize in our world the importance of appreciation and encouragement. I think a lot of the problems that we're having right now, the concerns we have, are because people don't communicate that well. They don't communicate with appreciation. We communicate with hate. We communicate with, you're not as good as I am, or you think you're better than me. What would happen if we flipped the switch, if we turned the script on its head, on its head and said, you know what? We're all going to work from a place of appreciation and encouragement. Instead of saying what you're doing wrong, let's celebrate what's being done right. Let's celebrate the gift that people give us of being themselves. This weekend, in particular, I invite you to find a veteran, to find a veteran's family, people who know what it is to sacrifice, whether it's the ultimate sacrifice in that they've lost a loved one, or those people who have willingly walked away from their families to offer their skill sets, their expertise to help other people someplace else in the world or in their own country. I really do encourage you to find someone to say thank you. Thank you for allowing me to have a Feel Good Friday. But I also encourage you to look around you and see who are those people who are on the fringes of society, those people maybe in your own office or in your home who are feeling down or they're feeling like they are not appreciated, and allow them the gift of knowing that you notice them, that their sacrifices or their concerns have not gone unnoticed, and that you're willing to reach out to them and say, thank you, and how can I help you have a Feel Good Friday? This weekend, take some time to be an encourager. Take some time to be a Barnabas. Take some time to be an appreciator, someone who says thank you. Take some time to remember that the wonderful gifts that we have, the gifts of democracy, the gifts of being able to get out there and vote in an election, the gift of being able to walk down the street on a Sunday morning or a Saturday evening or a Friday morning, whenever it is that we choose to go and worship, that we can do so without persecution because of those people who have gone before us, particularly those who have gone before us in the military, but all those who have paved the road ahead of us or before us so that we can live our lives to the best of our ability because of the sacrifices and the efforts and the hard work that they made. As we head into this weekend, I will be around on Sunday for Gospel on the Go. We will be celebrating Remembrance Sunday in Vermilion. And so that is what our service will be on Sunday for Gospel on the Go, and also here at Church at Home with Rachel. But then I'll be off for 2 weeks. I will be on retreat and a clergy information day, and then a week of holidays. So I won't be back online until Sunday the 26th of November with Gospel on the Go, and then on Monday the 27th of November for Church at Home with Rachel. And in the meantime, on the 25th of November, there will be an election for the Bishop of Brandon, and I will probably let you know how that went on the 26th if I wait to record Gospel on the Go till the night before. Otherwise, you'll hear about it on Monday the 27th. I ask your prayers for me and for Chad and for the whole diocese of Brandon as the Holy Spirit moves within among them to make a decision about who will be their bishop. But whatever happens, I truly believe that God will choose the person for the work that God knows is lying ahead. And whether it's Brad or Chad or me, I trust that the Spirit will lead us and we will lead well and we will lead with dignity and gentleness and respect for all the people we're called to serve. But whatever happens, I am still me and Chad is still him, and we are still priests in God's church, and we do the work we are called to do. So I ask your prayers, not that I win or that I not win, but I ask your prayers that God's will be done. And then for strength for whoever is elected, and for peace for the person who is not. Thank you. I was just for Feel Good Friday of encouragement. I just want to say thank you to all of you who have stuck with me for the last couple weeks, couple months, last couple of years, as we have traveled this Church at Home with Rachel together, Church at Home with Rachel road together. It has been a blast. I've really encouraged by you every day, and I look forward to encouraging and being encouraged more in the future. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Sunday for Gospel on the Go, and then after my holidays. God bless.